You're tuned into Taiwan Grooves. Let's explore the local music scene. Hello and thanks for joining us for today's combo where religious experience meets music. And of course I am talking about the Temple of Grooves with the boys from the Church of Loops, John and Brian. You are listening to our interview with the Church of Loops Part 2. In case you missed the first part and you wanted the TLDR, or in this case too long didn't listen, we talked about the spontaneous holy name of the duo, their song-making process, and they shared some stories from their live performances. Today we'll carry on with their evolution of their stage magic and break down a song just for you.
Just a quick question about if you were to compare your, let's say, last couple of performances with the first one you had, has there been any significant change in anything, the way you do it? Perhaps you implemented, you said, every now and then a drum machine, let's say, or anything different, like you bring your full key set, or you bring the xylophone or something?
Good question.
I think we, maybe not instrumentation wise, but we definitely know what the songs are, what we should be doing within the songs now, right? Do you know what I mean? We know, like, here's a verse and a chorus and a bridge, and that, you know, I think we used to just kind of, let's just jam it and see where it goes. Whereas I think now we have more structure to our songs, especially since recording them all. We've then gone back and refined them more, referencing the recording.
Refine the reference in the recording.
Refine the reference in the recording.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And we, on one hand, we are putting more expectations on ourselves. So it's kind of against what I just said because we now have an idea of how we want the songs to sound. But I also think this is a good part of the process to be going through. I think eventually we'll get so good at knowing what's supposed to happen at where, that we can completely let go of that and say, tonight, why don't we take this, what did we do the day before yesterday? We took I Will Wait, which is like a house tune, and we made a reggae version of it. Yeah. We didn't even do it on purpose. It just became that, and we went with it. And we'll get to the point where we do that live as well. I think it's a good process.
I think there's a perfect balance to be hopping from there and back. Because as you said, when you record stuff, you should have some structure, right? Yeah. Your limited time, you can't be in the recording studio for 5 hours and be like, oh, damn, we didn't even record one song.
Yeah. Sounds like something we would do.
Yes. But for live version, I can see how it totally works. Because, people are there. It's not like you put it on Spotify and like entertain me in those 5 minutes. It's more like, I'm here, I made it all the way here, let's have fun. So it makes sense totally.
Yeah. And I will mention, too, one of our secrets that maybe I don't know if I should say this publicly, but when we watch loopers, I've noticed that people do tend to have some crutches that they use. There's some bits that are pre-recorded. A lot of it is live, but we have been so strict with ourselves that we do not pre-record anything. It's all live on the spot. And part of what happens with that, I mean, it is definitely cool points. Definitely it's logging in the heavens register somewhere. These guys didn't re-record, but we, a lot of times it'll be like 2 minutes building the beat. And then it takes a while, So we have taken to now at our next show, we've got a couple of things like saved in the looper. So where when it comes to like the bridge of a song, for example, instead of having to build that bridge before we can actually start the song, that's there. We build everything else and we just hit a button and we continue to play and sing along with it. But the rest of the tracks are there,
Did you just say build that bridge?
Build that bridge.
Beautiful. And we literally are building the bridge
we
live.
Really are.
Come and watch us build a bridge live.
Just build construction workers. Bridge builders.
Yeah, you gotta have a solid foundation. It's perfectly fine that you spend 2 minutes building it all, because then it all makes sense, right? It's a process. You don't jump into chorus right away from beginning. It's yeah. That's good. And honestly, I just thought of one thing. Sometimes having the structure is also very important, as much as I appreciate like the people having the ability to just all jam it out and be like that. But since I've been going to a couple of shows recently, I will also not just notice the people performing, but the way they're interacting with the audience. So like looking at people, how they're enjoying and when they get And let's be real, there's attention span of some people. If they're not entertained, if the song is 12 minutes and it's being similar and it's not going anywhere, there's no changes, people will tune out on maybe subconsciously or whatever. It's real. So
that's something we kind of battle with a bit, isn't it? Because we're called the Church of Loops because obviously most of our song is kind of a loop. But I think maybe that's what's changed probably since the first gig as well, isn't it? That we've added bridges and different sections in to make, just to give that bit of variety in there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean it in any bad way, definitely, but I feel like mind kind of relies on familiarity. Something like tension release, bringing it back. They need to have some kind of like, oh, this sounds like I heard something before.
The elements of storytelling.
Definitely. Let's dive into your work a little bit. EP's coming out soon. Could you enlighten me? Take one song and just tell me perhaps what it is about and where is the initial inspiration coming from?
Wow, that's a big question.
Can you explain Falling from the Sky, Brian? Because you have 2 rap verses in that.
Okay, I can. It's very interesting. Perhaps, maybe one day I will release my diary entry from the day that I wrote those verses. I was on a trip. I have a friend who had a B&B down in Hualien, and he said, hey, if you ever want to go to Hualien, you can just crash in my B&B. I've got a car there you can use. And it was really generous, and I needed a little break. So I took about 2 nights down there. I say have been kind of going through this process of, so I'm just going to go really vulnerable here. Like, I'm just trying to become enlightened. I'm just trying to wake up. I feel like the life that we live, that we're born into, we're entirely under the control of this thinking mind that we have, this monkey mind, and I'm constantly now asking myself the question, who's the one having all these thoughts? And who's the one listening to all these thoughts, I'm going to Zen meditation classes twice a week, and just really like I go to these 7-day meditation retreats. And this was a bit before I started kind of doing the retreats and that sort of thing. And I've been reading books about, what it takes to become enlightened and everything. And I was going through this moment and I was like, oh, hold on a minute. If this whole thing is like a mental amusement park that we've created with our thoughts and our minds, our experiences, if there is an exit door, what's outside? What if I open up the exit door and I go outside and it's just an endless parking lot stretching in all directions and it's complete desolation with nothing else, and I turn around to go back inside and the whole amusement park is gone? And this is a real fear for me, And so that is kind of what was on my mind when I wrote Falling from the Sky. Like if you hear the lyrics, it's all about like, what's it going to be like if I actually do log out of this video game? I had one of the lines in the song is like, thinking about logging out of the game, won't have a face, won't have a name. My sister messaged me. She's like, don't log out of the game. Like she thought I was suicidal. And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's not. I'm thinking about logging out of this game in the terms of if this whole life is a video game, But it's kind of scary as to think about like what's on the other side. Is it really going to be this bliss and nirvana? Is it really going to be complete cessation of suffering and difficulty? Or is it just going to be nothingness? Or is it just going to be like the Zen masters say, the story about the guy walking up a mountain and he runs into a Zen master and the guy's carrying this heavy burden of sticks or something. And the Zen master says, you can just put it down. And he just puts it down. And he goes, oh my God, that's so much better. And now what do I do? And the Zen master says, you pick it up again and keep walking up the hill. So maybe it's just a return to normal life, but with an expanded consciousness. I don't know. I'll find out soon, I hope. But that's kind of where those lyrics came from.
Wow. And that kind of contrasts with the hook, right? Where the hook is like, I feel like I'm falling from the sky. I'm falling in love, right? And I think that maybe there's kind of duality there of like falling in a relationship or falling out of a relationship, and also kind of going alongside your verses about logging out or not being part of life, right?
Yeah. And I've always, the spirituality side of it too, I think mixes with that side of the relationship because, we both come from a very Christian background, very like monotheistic personal God, which is a little different from like the Buddhism that I'm studying now. And when you sang that, you make me feel like I'm falling from the sky. I'm falling in love. It's kind of, it almost has this picture of like angels falling from the sky, you know, but then also falling in love, like it could be falling in love with God, you know. And then the first verse it said like, I was raised in the courts of the Most High, to this day I have angels on my every side. It's like saying, just because I'm exploring this other path of, you know, a more Eastern sort of understanding of divinity, that doesn't mean I'm leaving behind this more relational Western kind of understanding of God and of divinity. And I don't know, I think your hook kind of definitely inspired the first verse in a very more theistic way, whereas the second verse is more of that like non-theistic, Buddhistic kind of, you know, so.
I think we write and then analyze, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We really do.
We don't think.
It's almost like analyzing somebody else's lyrics.
It is, yeah.
No, this is very beautiful.
I was raised in the courts of the Most High. To this day I have angels on my every side. I look upon my life with humility and pride, with contentment and delight, with definitive insight. Dressed in sackcloth and ashes, but with precious jade inside. I hold infinity within time, pour my divinity into these rhymes. Sat beneath the Bodhi tree till the scales fell from my eyes. Stood up and walked right back into the palace of lies. I was forged like a sword in the garden in flames, with weapons of kindness in the crucible of pain. Descend into the depths, crucified by ourselves, and then rise up from the ashes like a seedling in the rain. Nowhere to run, nowhere to stay. Feeling like I'm lonely for another day. Nothing to do, no one to be. And I know when it's right, letting go with the fire won't be easy. You make me feel like I'm falling from the sky. I'm falling in love. You make me feel like I'm falling from the sky. I'm falling in love. Falling from the sky, falling faster from the mind, filling rivers with the water that keeps falling from my eyes. Finally free from my disguise, fanning the flames of a future in light, finding freedom, falling forward like a phoenix on the rise. Thinking about falling and flying, thinking about living and dying, thinking about all of the things in between that fine line between laughing and crying. Thinking about logging out of the game, don't have a face, don't have a name, nothing to do, nothing to find, simulation out of my mind. Nowhere to run, nowhere to stay. Feeling like I'm lonely for another day. Nothing to do, no one to be. And I know when it's right, letting go with the fire won't be easy. Make me feel like I'm falling from the sky. I'm falling in love. You make me feel like I'm falling from the sky. I'm falling in love.
A friend of mine who was here also saying like a lot of times you write those lyrics and then retrospectively you come to find out like, oh, I meant this without even aiming for it like 100%. So nice. Wow. Very good question. Is there like a Truman Show thing after, or just yeah?
And if there is, what is it? Like, what's on the outside, right? It's
what
weird
my
to
friend
think
once
about.
said. Maybe we could just be a speck on an intergalactic warthog's armpit. And I was like,
Oh,
we
I
could
like
be.
that. I like that.
We could be.
Right? What if our whole universe is just a cell in another organism?
Yeah.
Right? Can I, while you're looking for the next question, can I say one more thing?
Please.
Just kind of something that we were talking about a minute ago with the lyrics and stuff. I wanted to comment a little bit on our synergy between me and John, because there have not been many musicians that I've met in my life that I have this kind of, or am able to have this kind of relationship with, you know, because we didn't know each other very well. We had met a couple of times socially, and I had heard of him. Everybody, because I hang out with all those guys that rap, you know, the hip hop crew. It's always like Erratic. He's like this famous figure, like, oh, if you need a beat, go to Erratic. He's so good. He makes the coolest beats, right? And so when I met him, I kind of had this reputation in mind, but I didn't know about all the other musicality that was there, you know? And it was so weird, like from the very first time that we started jamming with the looper that day, that we kind of let go of trying to rehearse and, okay, you're the drummer and she's the singer and I'm the guitar, and we just messed around with music. It was almost like we were in each other's minds to some extent. Like there's a Venn diagram, and like a good portion of it is that overlap. And he would do something, and then I would kind of just know what to fill in. And I would do something, and he would just know what to fill in. And then from that first day, I kind of knew that we were onto something really special. And it's
agreed. Vice versa, Brian, too. And yeah, it's so important, I think, isn't it? I think I was watching a documentary about like bands and touring bands, and they were saying it's basically like having a partner that you don't sleep with, right? It basically is, isn't it? I know. They're like, you know, they're on tour and they're sleeping in the same beds, and like, yeah, found that interesting. I was like, yeah, I imagine that.
That's good. Like that Flight of the Conchords about put a wig on you when you were sleeping.
Yeah. Did you?
Not that I did that. It's true. And you know, like sometimes you'll meet a musician and they're really talented, but the talent is outstripped by the ego. And I think that we're quite lucky, because I think neither of us has like a really huge ego, you know, like John will say to me, you know, I really don't think that part fits, and I'll go, okay, let's do something else. And I'll, you know, the same, I'll say to John, like, yeah, not really feeling this part, and he'll be, okay, what do you want to do instead? You know, we're not really that attached to like, well, how dare you tell me that part wasn't, you know, like we've never really had a conflict like that, have
But
we?
we both wrote all of them, didn't we? I think, which is maybe something different. Maybe there's one songwriter in a band, but they're both, they're all composed by both of us together, aren't they? Right.
Yeah.
So we have equal input and
Yeah, it sounds like healthy musicianship, if that's a word. Just like you tune into the same thing, collective consciousness or whatever, and you're just exchanging ideas, and then you make it work. It's very good. Yeah, I can imagine some bands going on tour, and you know, everybody's got their part, and it's like a kind of like a job thing. Yeah, you just do this and let's get on with it. That's it. Yeah. So EP's coming out soon, in case I didn't mention that. Now, what's your plan to do you have any specific way to promote your stuff?
And this is not our strong point, is it, as musicians?
Yeah.
But no, a lot of people don't really like have this idea of, you know, how to do this part, because they're very good at making music. That's all they care about. They're very good at recording, mixing, mastering, which brings me to a little side question. Do you do all of these things yourself?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we
From
do.
Yes, we do.
Point where the mic flip, the button switches on to the final end product, that's all you two.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we record everything. It's all home recorded, and mix it all at home, and then master it all at home.
Yeah.
Self-reliant.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
Wow.
Which I know you're not supposed to do. They say that the same person shouldn't mix and master, but you know, you work with what you got, and that's what we're. And I'm gonna say that I've learned a lot from John, because he's, you know, he went to school for some of this stuff, right? You learned mixing.
Yeah,
and
music
stuff.
technology.
Mm.
I
Music
did.
And I
as a
have
degree.
no background of that. But for the EP, I actually mixed one song. Keep Dreaming was my mix. Everything else
Sounds
is
great.
John's mix.
Sounds
And,
great.
yeah, I'm really happy with how it came out. John was guiding me, helping me, but I'm really happy that we're able to, now we can kind of divide the labor a little bit better for the future projects.
But we do take like months to finish one, don't we?
Yes,
it might
we
be
do.
like 6-7 months to finish one song, because we'll keep going back and forward like, can you remove that small squirrel sound? And we'll go, yep, of course. Right? And then we'll just go into detail, because it's our own work, right? It's not like there's a mixing engineer who's going, yeah, okay, that's what I think it should sound like,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timeline sounds reasonable. Because if you just, have all the demos, you send it over there, you get it back all done while you're focusing on your life, just having fun, whatever, doing your other errands or not. So how would you, except for me doing my best to get your songs into other listeners' ears? Do you have any in the plan, any steps how to go about it?
I just think we need to play more. We often talk about our live stream, don't we? We've streamed some, but we should be streaming every week. That's something we want to do.
Keep streaming.
Or, that's something we hope we can get, and then we can get live other musicians to come and jam with us as well. So get our streaming going and some more funny videos.
Yeah.
I hope, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think we should be making more funny videos, and maybe some kind of like just doing some things on the street. You know how that people go and they're like, hey, let me freestyle for you. If we could go up the campuses and stuff and just put up a big sign and say, we'll make a song about you. That kind of thing I think would be really fun to do.
That's the modern promo, isn't it, really?
It is.
People even make a video and go, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to write the song to match this promo video, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah, I know. It's insane, isn't it? Yeah.
But that would definitely work. In Taiwan, it's now, don't get me 100% on this, but I think it's okay to busk around, except for specific places where you
Is
need a
it?
license.
Oh, I thought you needed a license everywhere.
I
Are they
th-
changing it?
I think they changed it.
Oh, great.
There was
That's
a-
good news.
There was a Taiwanese guy who told me this, so that's why I have my trust. Before, you had to go in front of judges. You have to pass that. And I heard some weird stories. If you're better than them, they might, give you DI or something, just like harder. But now I think that's been cancelled. Obviously, you cannot still go into Ximending and have 100 people right next to each other, like the urinals again. So there's some regulation. But I feel like when you go down to Huali and Taidong, you find a little spot.
Okay.
I feel like nobody's going to chase you out with a stick. So if you can get electricity or an acoustic thing going on.
It's a great idea.
It's like I was telling you about that guy. There's a guy called Ari at home, and he has it all on his backpack. And he has a looper and a keyboard and a laptop, backpack, speakers,
I was
microphone.
just watching it yesterday.
Yeah.
He's
And if we could do that, because then surely
man.
we would, even if there were the busking, was like, no, we're just walking. We're not in any one place. And
Catch me if you can. Just a song running away. That's the guy who goes around New York City and all the rappers just come by.
Yeah,
And
that guy. He's called Ari at home. Yeah, I've been watching him for a while.
man,
He's
if you
great.
can find some people to do that here, like, okay, except for you guys, somebody to take over the rap part.
Well,
that'd be
that's what I
amazing.
think. That was what we could do. Right? We could go to Ximending and be like, "Hey, man, do you rap? Come do a rap on this."
Right.
Yeah, we should do that.
That would be really fun.
That would get you definitely those views that I'm aiming to get you guys
Yeah.
somehow.
You know what else I
Thank
like
you.
that I think we should do? Do you know that guy Harry Mack?
Of
the American
course.
guy that raps, right?
Yeah.
He goes on Omegle and stuff, and he's
You have resemblance a little bit.
well,
Yeah.
a little bit, right? Yeah, I feel
Brian
I feel
is
a
a
bit
great
of resonance with
freestyler
him.
as well. Yeah.
I think it would be cool to go like on Omegle or something and just kind of randomly meet people and
Hey, let me make you a
let me
song.
make you a song.
Give
yeah.
me 3 words.
Right?
a
Imagine
story.
if we ended up pairing with Harry Mack and he's like, hey, I want to do a
Oh,
freestyle for you, and be like, we're gonna do a freestyle for you as well, brother.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
That would be fun stuff, right?
this is exactly what I'm asking for, because there's different ways nowadays. It's all about shorts. It's having a really good music out there in Spotify does not necessarily mean that it will have millions of listens, right? Clicks. You need to be
Yeah.
somehow around. You need to fight for those shorts with cute cats videos or something. You need to
Yeah.
do something about it. That's why I'm.
Yeah.
But this is a brilliant approach. This is really something to explore for sure.
I think it's about finding that balance, right? And I think that improvisation is a good balance because on one hand, if I'm on my social media and I see somebody just sitting there with a guitar and the quality of the video isn't very good, the lighting's not good, unless my sound's on and that person sounds great, I'm probably not going to stop and try to listen. You know, it has to be a little interesting.
Yeah.
On the other hand, and no offense to this guy if he ever listens to this podcast, but I saw a dude with a guitar or ukulele on a unicycle with a rainbow afro wig and a beanie cap and smoking a cigar and you know, it's like, how ridiculous and over the top can you be? I was like, I'm not looking at this crap, you know, because it's like how attention grabbing, there's a limit, you know. At some point people look at it and go, this guy is ridiculous, you know what I mean? And how do you find that balance where it's attention grabbing enough that you're getting people's attention, but you're not just pandering to, let me be different than everybody else. It doesn't matter if my music's good because I'm on a unicycle. You know what I mean?
There's levels to it, and I'm glad you're conscious of it. You don't have to be on a unicycle, but some aspects need to be
tricycle.
Taken. Maybe a tricycle. Maybe a tricycle.
Maybe juggling knives. Juggling sharks.
Oh, great. Oh no.
Are we getting close to the
I think we're getting to the last question. Otherwise I'll have to cut out some stuff, and I would hate to do that.
Trim the fat.
All right. I'm sorry, but this is the last question. In that case would be, if you were to deliver some kind of words of advice, wisdom to anybody who's trying to make music, would you have anything that you would like to spread?
Maybe mine would just be yourself and do what you love. I think short and sweet, that would be my advice, probably to myself and to other musicians.
Yeah, that's good. I think mine, especially to my past self and to younger people, would be just stop procrastinating and let go of perfectionism. Finished is better than perfect. Just do it. Just do your stuff. Put it out there. Be cringe. Let people mock you. Let people say what they want. Don't worry about it. Be authentic, like John said, and do it. You know, just do it. Somebody's gonna love what you have.
Definitely.
You know?
I'm one of them.
Oh, thank
you.
Guys, thank you very much. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for having us, Phil.
This is really a lot of fun. Thank you.
Where nothing that we see or hear is ever quite what it seems. Sometimes I am lost in a field of thoughts. Sometimes I come closer than